Hey, how's it going, everybody? Desi here. Hey, just wanted to talk to you today about vulnerability and being soft to people. You know, I think a lot of times, um, people, we're just not always going to be in a good mood. And I believe that all the states that we experience is just a state that of being, like happiness isn't a destination, it's just a state. But sometimes people don't know how to get out of these states, and they're spewing venom or being aggressive towards people, or just from the way that their days maybe played out in the morning. And so you see like this domino effect, of these people going out and causing more hate, or like picking on other people, and then those people getting mad and picking on more people. And it's just it's a horrible cycle. To watch all this play out. um, and I fall in it too. I'm not perfect. Every now and again someone pushes one of my triggers just right, and I get hot-headed too, and get in that moment. And sometimes we say things that we don't necessarily mean, or we just spit venom back because we're trying to take up for ourselves. And it's the way a lot of us were programmed, like growing up. We didn't weren't told to take a breath, and to try to go at this from a better angle so that we could stop the toxicity, not only from affecting someone else, down the line, but also from affecting ourselves. The Buddhists have this one saying that, if you have a gift, when you go to give it to somebody, but they don't accept this gift, who does that gift belong to? And it belongs to the gift giver. And so this is, they say, so like now just imagine that as far as like anger or, hatred that you're spewing out. Like if this person doesn't accept this anger or hatred that you're spewing, and they don't get in this rebuttal with you, then who does that hatred belong to? It belongs to the person that's trying to give it. So in a way, you're really protecting your own inner world and your own place by, not participating, I would say, in people's dramas, because a lot of times people just want to pick at you and poke at you. I know plenty of people where I work where they try to stir the pot with people. They just want to see like who they could get going and what all kind of drama they could cause for the day. So, it's not a healthy way to live. I can see the humor in it sometimes. Um, we're, we're all definitely not perfect. And sometimes we all do know like what buttons to push within a certain individual to get them rattling and going. But I would much rather live in a positive light, in a positive way, not only for myself, but for others. And I think being vulnerable, being able to take the breath, and just being able to take a step back from the situation for a second. It's hard to do. I've been practicing for a long time, certain practices, but this one's a tough one because I think a lot of us, growing up, we were told, children need to be be heard and not seen, or something like on those lines. Like we're not or seen and not heard, and and then all these other things we're like pushed to maybe not necessarily feel our emotions or talk about them the way that it's more open now to do that. And I think it's really a strength to be able to talk to someone openly, and be a little vulnerable, and show and express your feelings in a more positive way than it is to bring the heat every time. um, so I know it's sometimes it's hard, getting a different perspective when you're in this heat of the moment. But usually, when this stuff happens, everyone's got a point of view, you know, and we're all not going to see it the exact same way. We're all going to see it from a million different angles. And if there was going to be 10 witnesses, you know, that seen or this story or whatever, there's going to probably be 1,000 different stories or whatever. No one's ever going to have the same point of view on it, because we all live in our own different, you know, special little worlds. You know, we all create our own world within our own head, and what goes through there is definitely going to be unique compared to someone else and the way that they perceive life. But one thing that we can do is we can come together as individuals, and we could talk about it from a calm state of mind. Be like, look, I ain't gonna talk to you when you're like this, but if you want to come at me correct and you want to like sit down and have a chit chat and go over this, I'd be glad to talk to you and you know, see where we can come together on this. You know, and I think that it takes a strong person to do. You know, anybody could throw a temper tantrum. You know, we've seen kids do that all the time, you know, and they don't get their toy at the store, or you know, they don't get like the chocolate chip pancakes they want or something. You know, we're going to see a little tantrum go off. But, you know, as adults, I think we really need to learn how to control our fire. And it's not always easy. And like I said, none of this stuff is when you're on the healing path. It takes a lot of strength and courage to be able to walk into these situations, you know, that put anxiety on our soul, or, you know, anything that confuses us or confronts us with having to be open to someone else, because we're not used to that. You know, we're not used to opening up to other people. Maybe even this could be someone that you don't even know that well, you know, just kind of a stranger, just a associate or something. But I think if we take the time to see things from other people's perspectives and give them a chance to speak and sit there and listen, and then you get a chance to speak and listen, you know, you're really gonna provide a heart space for all of this, you know, and a good healing. Because I think once we learn to, you know, listen to one another, you know, and take that time and effort to actually understand what's going through someone's heart and mind, then we really do bring healing to all situations. So usually this is stuff I try to write down, but it's kind of been going over this in my head all day today, just thinking about, you know, being vulnerable with people and trying to express how you feel. And sometimes it's just getting things off the chest, you know, that really is healing on its own, you know, when you're able to just look someone in the eye and tell them how you feel, and this is how this made me feel, and they have the capacity to sit there and listen to you. I think it really does bring a lot of good healing to not only yourself, to the situation and the world, you know. So this is just a quick little video for today. I just kind of wanted to get that off my chest. I'm going to dig more into some Goodard's manifesting stuff. I bought this, see if I got it on. Oh, yeah, bought this epic collection the other day of all of his teachings. So I've been really enjoying this a lot. You know, I watch a lot of the YouTube stuff they have on there, but this really dives deep into all of his books. So this has been a lot of fun for me. So anyways, we're going to get back into more of that manifesting. I'm going to write some stuff down on some of these. But I just wanted to say, you know, stay strong, be courageous. You know, don't let no one push you down. I'm not saying don't be a pushover, you know, take up for yourself. But when these conflicts do arise, let's try to find the capacity to take a breath and you know, see if we can find a way to push forward as adults, you know, and maybe heal each other in the process, you know. All right. Have a wonderful day. Let's make this world a better place.